Cheese Monsters, how you doing? So, we got another review for a TV show that just came on Netflix and I'm totally addicted to. 13 Reasons Why. Based on the novel with the same name, it really is about this girl who pretty much committed suicide and the whole school is struck by this. There's a lawsuit on them. And now we follow Clay, who's really not affected, but then slowly you learn that he is mentally affected by this death. And a box disappears with the cassettes. And the cassettes instruct him to say, hey, listen to the cassettes and pass them on once you're done. And the cassettes inform you that really whoever receives these cassettes, their name is involved in some shape or form, and it's really the girl who committed suicide, and that's Hannah. That's the basic plot. I haven't seen the full series. I just want to get this review out there to pretty much save up my first impressions of the show. Is that it is so hard to, I don't know what to feel in the show. I don't know what to do in the show. Sometimes I feel really sad. Sometimes I feel really conflicted. It's really a show with mixed feelings, and that's not necessarily bad. It's just the direction and the way they took the story. Whoa, I can't explain what I'm feeling right now and how I am expressing it, because it's not happy, it's not sad, it's not conflicting. It's really a mishmash of all those feelings. But as the plot goes, it's really 13 Reasons. Really, every single tape or every side of each tape is really about who has really fucked her over, really who has messed with her in the past, and the reason why that she self-harmed herself, the reason why she has a mental breakdown. And honestly, there's a lot of conflicting emotions. You don't know if you're siding with Hannah, you don't know if you're siding with Clay, because Clay's story is not really necessarily, you know, like me finishing the tapes, because as the series goes on, people have said to him many times that I have finished these tapes in a day or two. I finished these tapes, like a binge watch, or binge listen, if you will. But Clay has been taking a long time. One is required for the series, because obviously if it's a day or two, the show will be like 2 episodes. And the second reason is that Clay is really emotionally attached to this, even though it seems like he isn't. It's also not an accurate depiction of high school, but an accurate depiction of bullying, how that transcends person. You're sure you got the douchebags, the dicks of the series, but you got the douchebags, you got the dicks of the series, but you also get the people who you think wouldn't do anything, but they have somehow did it. They're minute details, but those details kind of add up, and that's really the end result of the whole bullying and the epidemic there. Personally, I haven't experienced this. Thank God social media wasn't there, because I would have been fucked when I was a little kid. But seeing this now, I realize that there's a lot more to bullying than what meets the eye. It's amazing to see what the characters go through, the amount of length that like these adults have no knowledge of this. Even like the people, like the parents, and you see them a lot in the show too, which is great, because you kind of get their side and their bias, and really everyone has their bias on what to believe in and what the truth is, because you think that, okay, Hannah might be telling the truth all the time, but then you have the conflicting theory or conflicting idea saying, what if she's altering some truths? And you could say they're minute details. They are minute details, but do they have a significant like change in the story? Do they impact? And it gets you turning. It makes you think, whoa, in this situation, how would it went down? Like, would it go down exactly as the story's going down? You might think it's not realistic, but in a way it kind of is, in the fact that, you know, rumors and stories and the way they go, they get altered from time to time of people telling them. They get altered with which person is saying it. You don't know if Hannah's telling the truth. You don't know if Clay's telling the truth. You don't know anything. And that's what I liked about this show. It's ambiguous at times. You really don't know who's in the right, because one character might say Hannah's telling lies, but then switches over and like, you gotta stop Clay from telling the pretty much all the rumors and what Hannah has been confessing in her tapes. Like, I guess it's a elongated suicide note. So in that case, you wonder, why does she not want to see for Clay to say anything about the situation if it's the truth? Kind of gets you turning, really. But in technical notes, this is really well done. This is the show that you can expect on YouTube Red. If YouTube Red did something like this with Foursome, or a show where they're talking about high school and the dilemmas they face, it's a 4-year span, but there's a lot to cover. If they did that, it could have been a great show like this show. It's a great adaptation of a series that is well known across pretty much people who have read the book, people who have pretty much known situations like this. So it really adds up to say, yes, this is an epidemic that we need to reach. But also, in a way, it's kind of unrealistic in the fact that the parents really, sure, they're not in the know. And that is occasionally, that is something that is to be expected with this series or with bullying in general. But really, though, they're characters that kind of don't really do much about the situation that you think would, like a guidance counselor and such. But obviously this is a reimagining. They're not going to do everything realistic, so you got to keep that in mind. But in first impressions, I thought this show was addicting. Really, my heart is beating every episode. This has not happened since I watched Saving Private Ryan. It is that intense because you don't know what series are going to go down. You're rooting for characters, but then you're kind of reserving yourself and thinking, wait a minute, I don't know, bro. I don't know the conflicting situation that you're in right now. So that's really my impression of the series. It's really conflicting and really, like, you don't know who is right and who is wrong. And that ambiguity is really necessary to pretty much carry this story. You don't have one main character, and sure, Hannah is the victim. She's the one telling the story here, and obviously for story's sake, they're not gonna play the whole tape. They're gonna be excerpts of that tape, which is great to see that Clay, he's like the bystander. He's the average dude who's kind of looking at the situation this way, but they also address that maybe he's at fault, and really that's the thing that I'm kind of confused about, and the way they're gonna go about revealing what he did, because I don't know if he's a good or bad person. And really, that's really what the actors are doing. Usually, teen actors or actors who are young and you know they're pretty and they have a pretty face. They really don't do well. I mean, really, they don't do well. Especially young ones. They don't really know how to characterize their emotions and really fall into their character. But in this show, everyone acts according to what their character might do. And there are characters that kind of fall into like, oh, I'm innocent, but then all of a sudden turn deadly. And you might think that's a flaw, but actually that's a positive in this show, because that's kind of what the transformation of high school is like. You don't know what your place is. You're really conflicted inside, and this show demonstrated that so beautifully. I don't know how to explain this. A perfect analogy is when I played the game Life is Strange. Life is Strange is really about their girl Max, who has super ability powers to pretty much reverse time. Forgetting that part, it's really about the social structure and what she's seeing and how to pretty much resolve the situations that are happening around the town that relate to bullying, social life, and such. So this show really kind of extends back into that reality of what you would do in a situation like this and how characters are depicted. Because Hannah, girl, I am sorry for you. Like, I don't know what I would have done in this situation. There's literally no answer for me. Honestly, I would be the social outcast. I wouldn't even really know what happened. But then again, I would be like feeling kind of like, shit, it might have been my fault if I was listening to these tapes. Because honestly, if I didn't listen to these tapes, I would have no idea. And some characters are total dicks, and some, it really did show the true colors of one person, the true identity of a person, and really the whole idea of high school in general, because that is what we wanted, and that's what we got. Pretty much my initial impressions is that this show delivered exactly what I wanted, but it increased it by having the conflicted emotions in what the show was trying to achieve. It's really not rooting for one person. Not one person is that wrong, but really it's multiple instances, multiple events, and multiple people that really caused this girl to have this mental breakdown. And really, I thought, this is kind of emotional, this is kind of sad, and really building up to like when the girl commits suicide or really does that, that big reveal, and that kind of is like, I really don't want to see that. It's just emotionally scarring. And I'm literally halfway throughout the season, and I'm wondering what is going to happen. What's going to happen in this series and what's going to happen continuing, because damn, I don't know what I'm going to do. So my grade might change, but I'm gonna keep it at a 9 out of 10. This show does a lot emotionally, a lot conflicting, and allows you to think and allows you to analyze and say, what would you have done in this situation? What their characters have done, and makes you question your morality and question what is happening, because honestly that's what I've been doing for the rest of the series, because I am so confused, conflicted, and my heart has been pounding ever since I started watching this show. And honestly, sometimes I would be like literally sleepless thinking, how is the show gonna end, bro? I can't wait. But at the same time, I do not think that you should binge watch this show. This is one of those shows that, sure, you can binge, it's binge watchable, it's just that you don't get the amount of, like, you don't get your money for what it's worth, what the show is doing, because the show has been crafted so well to observe details and observe minute rumors and such, so it really requires you to think and really think about how the situation's presented and how about going about like thinking about what you have done, what characters have done, and really the impact of bullying itself. And honestly, this is what the show did great. Honestly, this book, I bet, is actually really good, because this show is amazing, by the way. So what did you think about 13 Reasons Why? Personally, I saw this on Facebook and thought, why not watch it? You know, let's see, maybe it's a ghost girl. It isn't a ghost girl. It's actually really sophisticated than that. Anyway, comment down below, and as always, I'll let you know what's hot and what is not with movies, TV shows, and trailer reviews. So as always, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button, and till next time, peace.